want to wise this?
Do it.
No one pays attention to me on YouTube. We might get 200, 300, 400 people hitting it, but
listen, here's how I look at it. If you and I went to do a room and did a live podcast in a room, we had 200, 300, 400 people in there. That'd be great.
Yeah.
We would enjoy ourselves. So hello, YouTubers.
No, I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah. Keep going on this rant. You guys go listen to the audio because he started on quite a rant and I like it because here you do the tough love, Vinny, because we need the tough love because today's the Monday after New Year's. And some people will come up with an excuse to say, you know what, I'll start Wednesday or I'll start next Monday because we're still doing New Year's.
Yeah.
We're still not back to work yet.
No, it's cut and dry. Look,
today's the holiday for New Year's, the official national bank holiday. Think
of it like this. You're on SEAL Team 6, but you're not deployed, right? You're home. You're home with the family. It's your kid's birthday. Chuck E. Cheese with the kids.
Gross. Okay.
Do they still have Chuck E. Cheese?
Oh, yeah, they do.
Okay, yeah, Chuck E. Cheese with the wife and the kids. And all of a sudden, the phone call comes in. And your wife looks at you and she goes, oh, no. She's got the look in her eyes. And you pick up the phone and you go, yes, sir. I understand. Right away. Right away.
This is very dramatic. What is the phone call you got?
Okay. And your wife looks at you and goes, you need to stop right now. You got to stop this. It's like, honey, we got to go get Osama bin Laden. We got to go right now. It's not like you get to go.
Oh, that's the phone call. That's a serious phone call.
We'll get bin Laden next week or the week after that. You know, this is SEAL Team. We need to go in right now. We need to put you on a helicopter and get you there. We got to get you in theater within 24 hours. You don't have time to mess around. Okay. You need to look at your own life the same way.
Okay, I like that.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I love it. I'm here for it.
Time to F around is done.
Right.
I give you guys a week every year. Do what you want. I don't care. I don't care.
I know you do. You give your little Vinny permission, although even though you hate that phrase because we're adults.
Yeah. And look, I put a little life into living also, but I got to be honest with you. It's not a whole lot, but that's just me. I'm telling you, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. It's up to you. A lot of people start to put a little life into living and they'll go, you know what? Nah, I was feeling better the other way.
Yeah.
You know, the late, great Coach Vince Lombardi said, you got to strive for perfection, but no one's perfect. But if you do strive for perfection, you might land somewhere near excellence.
That's right. And
that's the way I live my life. I strive for perfection. And I'm hoping that I land somewhere near excellent.
Yeah.
And sometimes I fail. I talked about one of my failures on a past podcast. You know, I write down these New Year's resolutions. Some I tell you guys about, but I write down a list. I put them in my book. I put them in my book every year. I put it on the front. Here, I got the new book right here, and I'm going to pick it and show it to you. Right here.
Great.
You know, I've been using these since I was in college. I grabbed one of these. I'm going to give this company a plug. They don't advertise.
I was going to say, do you have a favorite planner?
Yeah, it's called Day at a Glance. Look, I'm showing you it is at a glance. They make month at a glance or whatever. But I still, as Anna knows, if I'm in the car, I'm out and about, and Anna goes, hey, can we change your podcast? What do I always say to you, Anna?
Let me get home, get in front of my book.
Got to get in front of my book. I don't have it on Google Maps or whatever you guys put it on. And look, my Serena and
I think everybody puts their calendar on Google Maps.
Everybody, well, you know what I'm talking about, the Google something.
I know, but I just love the I don't know. What do you kids call it? Google Maps?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I do.
You guys put it somewhere, but
you got to put it on the maps.
I tell Anna, listen.
He's turning into Rambo before our eyes. He's Rambo, Torino. I can't say it.
Ram
Torino.
Oh boy, that's going to go. That's going to happen. But look, I got the 2023 calendar right here. I write everything.
Oh yeah, that's exciting.
Everything. Now,
you put the resolution, the goals at the beginning?
Yeah, I take the first page, like you see like the first page, like let me show you. I'll show you exactly where I write them. All right. So you see, like it starts, they give you some of the last year. Like it says right here, they give you the last week, like the December, right? They give you a week in the last year in 2020, the last year.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're going into 2022. So
right. 3. Yep.
Or 3. So this is 2022, and we're going into 20. Now we're in 2023. So I have all these 2 pages to write on.
Oh, good.
And I write extensive notes.
Yeah.
And I don't just write them and forget about them. I don't hit them and quit them. I write them and I review them from time.
Well, you have to review. It's all fine and good to set a goal, but you can't just like set it and be enthusiastic and then never look at it again. It's that passive income thing we were talking about. And I was thinking of more examples of that too, Vin.
We'll get into that, but let me keep on with the goals here.
Oh yeah, goals. Do it.
I want to talk about that passive. So the goal is I write down all my resolutions, right? And this year, surprisingly, I did all of them except one. There was one I failed at.
That's really good.
And that one will go at the top of the list to make sure that I work on that goal again this year. And
question for you, do you ever have that happen and then you reassess and that's not something you want to do the following year? Or do you always feel like you want to put it on the following year?
I don't always put it. I look at it and go, why didn't it happen? And you know what? I'm going to use
and that's where the meat is.
But
why didn't it happen?
I'm going to talk about this particular goal today, okay. and we'll dissect it because I think that'll help people. So I write down all the new goals, and every week, because my week at a glance, they don't do this.
Mm-hmm.
Every week when I turn the page to the new week and I'm writing out, I got to do Cook with Anna. We call this show cooking. I got to cook with Anna on this date. I got to do this on that date. I got these phone calls. I write all the phone calls in the book and the whole thing. Every week I write which week it is in the year, the first week, the second week, the third week. I always like to know right where I am in life in the week. Which week am I in and how are my goals going? How are things working out for me? Right? And that's just the way I do it. And the reason I do it that way is you need to know where you are. Because if not, time will slip away. It's already the second day of the year. You made all these resolutions while you were drunk, night before last, on the eve, right? This year I'm going to lose 50 pounds. This year I'm going to work out every day. I'm getting my wife gave me a new gym membership and I'm going every day. We say all these things when we're drunk on the 31st, if you're a drinker. If you're not a drinker, you're saying it anyway.
I was going to say, I don't think you have to be drunk. I think you say it because you've been eating like crap. You feel like crap. You're like, all right, I have one more day to eat crap. And then I'm going to get my shit together when really you're not dealing with anything that makes you want to eat the stuff that tastes like crap.
Right. And I start working on my resolutions a couple of weeks ahead of time. What do I want? What do I want this year? How do I want to do it? What do I want to do? Right. So this year I was able to get through all of my resolutions and all of them happened except one. So the one that didn't happen, that I didn't complete, I got most of the way there. I'm going to read exactly, again, Anna, while I'm grabbing my actual book from this year.
Okay.
You have Villa CAPPELLI at right now.
Okay, great.
I will grab the book here.
You guys, Villa CAPPELLI, you're brand new to this show. You're brand new to NSNG. You're going to be eating healthy fats. Real olive oil is a healthy fat. Unfortunately, most grocery store olive oils are cut with cheaper seed oils, inflammatory crap like canola, cottonseed, sunflower, safflower, soybean oil, corn oil. And it's shocking because it says on the thing, light extra virgin olive oil at the grocery store, but it's not. It's cut with crap. They put chemicals in it. They put deodorizers in it. They put chlorophyll in it. They put coloring in it to make it look like olive oil. But Villa CAPPELLI olive oil is actual real olive oil. I've been to the property in Puglia, Italy, and watched them make it with my very own eyes. That was about 13 years ago, 12, 13 years ago. And We've been talking about it since day one on this podcast when Vinny used to come over and we would do shots of olive oil.
Yeah.
And if you're brand new to this, shots of olive oil is going to sound a little crazy, but you will be cooking things in olive oil. You'll be drizzling olive oil on stuff, and you'll be making dressings and marinades with olive oil. So make sure you have the best. Do not put any crappy oil into your body. If you go to villacappelli.com, that's 2 P's and 2 L's in Cappelli, and use the discount code Vinnie, VINNIE, not Vinny with a wimpy Y. It's VINNIE. You're going to get 10% off your order each and every time you order. Villa Cappelli olive oil, best olive oil on the planet. You'll thank me later. You guys are going to taste it and be like, oh my God, that tastes like something. Usually oil is like boring and rancid and flabby and
you can taste the rancidity in it. Is rancidity a word?
And by the way, Vinny uses it in his vitamin D. I use it in my sauces.
Yeah.
And the other day I had to take a vitamin A liquid thing, and I could tell it tasted rotten.
Yeah.
It was so gross. And I wrote the doctor and I was like, let's figure out another way for me to take vitamin A because this is crap.
Listen, Anna, nobody would notice if I put a seed oil in my vitamin D3 with K. No one. But it means something to me because the mission statement of purevitaminclub.com is to use the best products available on the planet today. And Villa Cappelli happens to be that product. When you got to mix it with an oil, I'm not going to put a rancid seed oil. So we contracted with those guys. And by the way, it would have been a lot cheaper to make it the other way.
Right.
Would it make much of a difference in a vitamin D3? Probably not, because it's such a minuscule amount, but it matters to me.
Right. Exactly.
All right. Getting back to now I do a lot of resolutions, and I didn't mention them all to you guys because some of them are very personal. I don't need to put my whole life on the internet.
No.
Enough of it out there anyway. So one of them was rowing, right? And that's the one I messed up on. My 365 hours of aerobics, I did well over 400 hours. And that was kind of a no-brainer one because I do a lot of aerobics anyway. I knew I would get there.
Right.
Build a kayak. Now, I didn't say that I had to finish a kayak this year, but I had to start building it. And I started building it around the 10th of January of this past year.
Right.
And the kayak, believe it or not, would have been finished by the end of the year. But a couple of things came up. Personal, situation in my own family. A few things happened where I couldn't go work on it the last couple of days of the year. And then my guy who owns the shop, Joey Schott, Turning Point Boat Works, he had to get a hip replacement. So a couple of things stopped us. Now, the goal wasn't to finish, it was to start and to work consistently. And I think that goal was hit. I think we did 38 weekends out of the 52 weekends this year. And I see Joey's up and around again. And as soon as I get through what I'm going through, Joey and I will be, we probably have 3 Saturdays. So 8, 16, 24 hours probably left to finish that kayak. We work about 8 hours when we do.
Amazing.
Yeah. So that'll be done. The one I missed out on was the rowing. Now, I said I was going to row. I wanted to get to another 1,000,000 miles by May 1st. It was just a fraction of 1,000,000 miles because May 1st is when Concept 2 starts their year over again.
Okay. So
I did hit that part of the goal, but there was a second part of that goal between May 1st and the 1st of the year to hit another 1,000,000 miles I'm saying 1,000,000 miles, 1,000,000 meters. I'm sorry, on the rower.
Oh.
Are you okay?
Oh, a bird just flew in the window. It's so sad.
So I was going to hit another 1,000,000 meters by, May 1st by the end of the year, which is not a large feat for a guy like me who does a lot of aerobics. But as it turns out, I was doing my aerobics in other ways, jogging outdoors. I was enjoying the weather too much. I maybe took some rides on my bike. I went kayaking a bunch of times. That counts as aerobics. And, just on and on and on. And I didn't complete that goal. So for this year, I have to reassess that goal and do it again. I have to make it this time. But I'm going to have to reassess it and figure out where I am and what I'm going to do with that goal, because one of the other things that's a New Year's resolution, I haven't written it down yet, is to actually start rowing on the water. Now, I had a huge experience last year. We have a rowing club near me, but they won't let you use their boats and everything until you take this several week course, right? And last year, that course came around for the adults only one time. And it was exactly when I was traveling to, I went to KetoCon in Austin, and then Anna was there. We were all at KetoCon. And then from KetoCon, I had to go to California because I was sponsoring Badwater. And then I had to hit the Adam Carolla show, and on and on and on. I had to do a big circle. That was the 3 weekends. You know, I almost missed the entire thing. I was on the road for 2 weeks.
Right.
So for that reason, I didn't get to hit that, you know, to learn how to row on the water. That's on my list for this year, rowing on the water.
Okay.
And learning how to do that, and then getting, you know, efficient at it, because I want to do sculling. Sculling is when you do it yourself, or when you have an oar in each hand versus, you know, just yanking on one oar with a group of people.
Right.
I'm sorry, I have a frog in my throat. So I have some rowing aspirations. Another thing I started doing this year, and I'm going to continue into this new year, and I haven't written down yet. I don't have to write all of these on the first, but, you know, they're being written.
Right.
Matter of fact, this show is being done before the first. They're being written right now. And I tweak what I'm doing. I'll write something down and go, is that exactly? And so when you write something down, it doesn't have to stay exactly. You can think about it for a couple of days and go, wait, this is going to happen. That's going to happen. I want to tweak it. But something that I started doing during the year was I started upping my weightlifting game. Now, what does that mean? You go, well, geez, Vin, you say you lift weights all the time.
Hey, you already lift pretty regularly, right?
I lift regularly. I have a gym right here in my office, and I go out. I go to the local gym in town, and I work out. But I work out more in a maintenance mode. We talk about that a lot when Ben Bukikio's on the show and these type of guys. You know, I'll do, you know, just a light set, a medium set, and then one set to failure. I'll do a few push exercises. I'll do a few pull exercises. I'll do legs, and I do them on subsequent days. For whatever reason, I decided I'm not happy anymore with that status quo.
Okay.
I want to add a little muscle. As I get older, you know, sarcopenia is muscle wasting as you get older. I'm 60 years old now. And I noticed that just keeping up wasn't really keeping up anymore. And at some point, I want to say it was my internet girlfriend, Lois, who brought it up to me. She didn't go, hey, you're looking bad there, sailor. But she started asking me about this. She was on the show one time, or we asked one of her questions about sarcopenia. And it was around that time when it was a subconscious thing. It wasn't a conscious thing. In the gym, I started adding a set. And I started adding an exercise here and there, the stuff I used to do, right? And
adding a set to failure, adding more weight, like how?
Just a little, you know, in some cases, just a little more weight. So I wasn't getting to 8 or 10 reps on my set to failure. I was getting to 5, 6 reps. You know, I was going a little more intense at first, and then I started
maybe one light, 2 medium, and then 1 to failure, so you would fail quicker on the failure.
Yeah, just different things. Adding more weight. You know, maybe 1 extra set here and there. It started off very, very casual. I didn't go tomorrow. And folks, listen to what I'm saying. I've been doing this my whole life, and I didn't do that. Tomorrow I'm going in. It's a new day, and I'm going to start. I just started adding a set here.
Stuff in the moment.
I started doing things like because of my shoulder. You know, I have this bad shoulder. I stopped doing dips years ago because I had the frozen shoulder.
Right.
You know, now they have all these newfangled machines where you can take some of the weight off of you to do dips. And I started doing dips that way just to add another exercise. I figured out with my newfangled shoulder, I was able to do pullovers again. That exercise had been gone forever. You know, so I started doing a few different exercises that bodybuilders might do. Now, I'm not trying to become a bodybuilder, but I wasn't just doing my push pull, um
Well, let me ask for clarity.
go on.
Lest people think they're not doing enough. I guess what I want to say is I don't want to send people into a tailspin because they're going to hear that you're doing this and then think that what they're doing is not enough.
No, what you're doing is enough. I just wanted to do more because I noticed that I'm fighting sarcopenia. When I look in the mirror, and I see what's going on, it's like
what does sarcopenia look like?
Sarcopenia is, when you start aging, you start losing muscle mass. Now, if you looked at me overall, you would go, that dude is still, jacked. But I know what I look like. And I can look back at a picture or something from a year before, 2 years before on the beach or whatever and go, wait a minute. I looked better then than I do now, even though I'm still keeping up. So in my brain, I wanted to just do more.
Okay.
Right. And like I said, I was talking on a consult with Leona, and she was talking about, she's in her mid to late 50s, somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. She was like, hey, I want to start doing more. And we had that casual conversation, I want to say months and months ago, and it made me, sometimes the student teaches the teacher. And that happens to me a lot with my consult. Yeah. Think about what I'm doing. And I consider Leona a friend now. She works for the company, so we have access to each other, and she will ask me stuff about working out. I just started doing that a little more and started liking not the results, but the feeling. Mm-hmm. The feeling of.
Are you telling me you were enjoying the journey?
As you know, I'm all about the journey. I'm not about the destination. I talk about that on my Instagram, which I want to bring up in this.
I know. I have 10,000 questions for you that the audience is going to want to know now that you've laid this out there about doing more. So finish your thought about the things, and then let me ask you some rapid fire questions.
So, I'm just doing more. I'm taking more care of. I don't just do. I'll give you a pure example. You know me. I've always been with the abs. I do 3 sets of 25 reps of something. It could be the slings, it could be the Roman chair, it could be the sit-up board slanted a bit, wherever I could give myself pressure somewhere between 20 and 30 reps, that's where I go. Well, I've been doing 5-6 sets and finding different exercises to do, things I used to do when I had the abs that I had back when I was the conch shell.
When you were conch shelling?
Yeah, when I was doing that. So am I looking to look like that again? No, I was 29 years old when that happened. I'm double that age now, plus. But I still have those genetics, and why can't I do those exercises? Sure. And guess what? I started feeling better. And what did I notice? Doing extra ab work, extra planks, extra side planks, just extra stuff. I noticed that, oh, wait, that back problem I really had when I was doing squats and deadlifts.
Interesting.
Let me knock on wood. That seems to have subsided. Subsided,
yeah.
Thank you. I can't speak. When you get really ripped like me, you don't speak well anymore.
That's how all those fit guys turn into lummoxes. They just are so fit that they lose their verbal skills.
Yeah, everything just goes. So, and by the way, can you see a difference on me? I don't know. Because it takes a long time.
Right.
I don't go to the gym and then come home and
What's a long time?
A long time could be months and months and months. It happens so gradually that you don't really see it. It just seeps in. But I'm sure at some point I'm going to put on a shirt or something, or a sports jacket or something, and go, oh, wait a minute. Oh, this thing doesn't fit anymore. It's snug, or I couldn't wear this one anymore because it was swimming on me. There'll be ways that I'll notice it. Again, not trying to become jacked, just trying to keep up with age, if that matters.
It does.
And it matters to me.
Yeah.
So there you have it. That's one of my resolutions, along with the rowing. I'm going to hit that.
How did you word that resolution? Because I'm always curious in how people word their things. Like, certain people are motivated using different verbiage,
As you know, I write better than I speak. And I don't have that note in front of me, but it's a paragraph.
Oh, okay.
It's at least a paragraph of me, that I'm going to revisit, because if you write it down, you revisit it over and over and over, then it becomes, it's a mutation. I talk a lot about Napoleon Hill, who taught me a lot about life, who learned from Andrew Carnegie. So if I write it down and I visit it every now and again, I'll just keep reading that passage, and at some point it becomes what it is.
Right.
And by the way, folks, if you want bits and pieces of this, and Anna's going to start peppering me with questions about this, but I started doing something, as you know, my buddy Scott Mulvaney was helping me with my Instagram for a long time. And Scott did an excellent job. This is not a Scott thing, but I messed up on my Instagram. I messed up because I thought that, how do you put this?
You wanted passive Instagram.
I wanted I was like, Scott, just put up some stuff on my Instagram. I'll say something, just throw it on my Instagram. I wasn't really paying attention to it. I'm just being honest. If I'm nothing else, I'm very honest. And I noticed my Instagram grew from, 0 to about 22,000 or something like that when I had Scott take it over. And then Scott took it over for quite some time, well over a year, maybe two. And this is not Scott Mulvaney. Scott Mulvaney has an excellent service he offers. I wasn't giving Scott anything to go with. So he would just throw up whatever he thought he should throw up there, which is fine. I wasn't giving him anything pertinent to put up there. But at some point, for different reasons, I took my Instagram back. So Scott, I'm going to take it over for a while, because I wanted to become intimately involved with the people who pay attention to me.
Yep.
And again, this is not a Scott thing, but in the past few months, I've been able to double my Instagram. Where is it today, Anna? Can you see Instagram somewhere?
I don't know. It's like 50-some thousand.
Okay, so it's double. It's more than double. And again, not a Scott thing, because he runs an excellent service. I've done a lot of stuff with him behind the scenes besides Instagram. That wasn't Scott's thing to do. I just threw it at him and didn't give him anything. But I started doing it myself, and I work with my personal assistant, Megan, who does an excellent job. I've been sending her stuff every day, stuff with meaning. And when I think of something during the day, I write it down. I have a sheet sitting right over there, and I jot down, oh, this is motivational. This is something I'm thinking about. This might be something that other people might like. And when I started taking that personal approach to Instagram, I noticed it not only starting to grow, but I noticed that I had a couple of things go viral. I had a couple of things go way past 1 million downloads, which is really cool, where people are going, oh, we need to share this because this guy's now saying something that we care about. So the Instagram is growing.
You have active Instagram.
Yeah, I have active Instagram because I'm there every day doing it and not just handing it off.
Right.
And because
here's the thing, it's because you are being intentional with the content that you're putting on there. Before, it was like haphazard and throwing some things and say, hey, make this clip and do the thing. And that's fine. But now you really are speaking directly to camera. You have a message to give in every single one of your things. And that is what I'm talking about the difference between passive and active. You know what I mean? You actively have focused your energy into something. So I was thinking of more, and I'm going to ask you the weightlifting questions, but I was thinking of more passive things. I was thinking of, because I like to buy houses. I like to remodel houses. I like to buy them and rent them.
Yeah.
What happens when we all had that house on the street where somebody moved out or somebody died and no one lived in it for a while?
Yeah.
What happens to that house?
It just goes to shambles. It's amazing how quick.
It's amazing, right? Because there's no human life in there with energy, obviously tending to things, but then just like something about our intention of being in a space that we love, we will care for it. We will love it. And if you love your body that way, if you love your career that way, your finances, your family, your whatever it is, your relationship, and you put that love and care into it, there's nothing wrong with active. Somehow we've shamed work and shamed diligence and discipline, which I don't understand because it feels so good. Like, look at a kid when you give them a task. Hey, Johnny, help us sweep up the kitchen or make the thing, or, you know what I mean? They love to engage in that. Get back in touch with how good it feels to do stuff.
Yeah.
And see the fruits of your labor. So I was thinking of the house thing. And I was also thinking of, like, would you hire a babysitter for your kids who didn't interact with them at all and just sat in the other room while your kids ran roughshod? Or do you have an active, how about when you parent children? I know that when I had a young child, I could not be passive. I could not do passive parenting. You know what I mean? Like,
it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
We see what happens when, you know, I see the Casey Anthony thing out there again, right? And people talk about this because this kid was dead for a month. Remember that whole Casey Anthony thing?
I don't really, but I don't want to get too far sidetracked. I want to get these
weightlifting
questions.
We see what happens when, you know, my thing is not the kid died and no one knew for a month. My thing is, how bad was that kid's life when she was alive? It couldn't have been much better, right? It's sad. It's sad that when we don't nurture something, when we don't take care of something, it goes by the wayside very quickly. Case in point, and Anna's going to get into these questions. When I went home to take care of Marie during the pandemic, I took my shotgun and a lot of ammo with me so I could keep up with my skeet shooting while I was down there. But as it turned out, there was no skeet shooting field near me. The closest one was too far away. I couldn't steal away and get there, you know, and shoot for a couple hours and get back. I was there to do a job, to take care of my parents, right? And between that and doing the podcast and trying to go to the gym and everything, there was no time in my day to go skeet shooting. So I didn't do it for 8 weeks. And when I came back and went to the club, you see, you know, like in your brain, come on, it's skeet shooting. It's not aerobics that you have to keep up. It's not anaerobics where you're trying to keep up strength. This is just a skill set.
Yeah,
right.
Of course. Muscle memory and all that.
All of a sudden I was dropping birds left and right. And you sit there and you go, well, wow, I fell behind that. Now you pick up quickly because it's muscle memory. So you get there pretty quickly. But for a couple of weeks, I could not hit the scores I was hitting 8 weeks earlier. And it's not aerobics. It's not where you have to keep up. And it's not anaerobics. It's not weightlifting where you have to keep up. It's a different skill set. And if you let it go, it is not like riding a bike. Go on, Anna.
I just wanted to throw out there too. I know I talk about this book a lot, but it's called Your Best Year Yet, and it's super cheap. It's like $3 on Kindle or something. But it walks you through.
Diming. You see, Anna, you're nickel and diming the audience.
I know. I don't even get any money from that, but I'm just referring this lady's book. I just like the process because I find too that we're all aware of the things generally that we don't like about ourselves, but we forget the good things that happened during the year, the things we accomplished. So she walks you through a thing where you look back at the whole year, and I'm always shocked at how much, because I'm always wired to look for the bad and try to get in there and fix that and beat myself up for not doing enough. And so it's a good process for that. And it's a whole thing. You change some paradigms and you look at, like, why didn't you accomplish the thing? Like you're saying, like you have to think about things. You got to ruminate. You got to have thinking time, you know, and say, like, why didn't I accomplish that thing? Is it because it's not a goal that's relevant for me anymore? Is it because I have some negative beliefs that are getting in the way? Is it, why am I not the size that I want to be? For anybody out there listening, did I not commit to NSNG hard enough? I thought I did. Okay, well then what is it? You have to really look at things and be honest with yourself. So I love that you started adding on this weightlifting stuff. So let me ask you this. One thing that I really loved about, and this was revolutionary for me to hear, was that when you said early on in the podcast that you would just go to Amundsen Ranch, which is just a place where you can, with trails that you can go run around in Los Angeles.
In LA, yeah.
You would just go to Amundsen Ranch, not bring the phone, not track anything on the watch,
right?
Or you just went for a run, and I was like, what? Like, you don't track it? So that, knowing you and knowing that, like, you're not specifically writing down your whole workout plan, you know it so well, you know the milieu so well that you can add things in and subtract and do things the right way.
Right.
Two questions. Number one, if somebody does book a consult with you, will you write them a specific plan so that they can get to know more things about weightlifting? Is that something you do for people?
Yeah, I do that consults, but let me just jump in.
Yeah.
Problem is that I've not assessed the person. And the people who I've done this for, they go, oh my God, that's exactly what he did. Since I don't know the person, what I do is it
might take more than one, is what you're saying.
Well, no, not you. They usually call back. I don't say, no, you got to call back for less than 2. I don't do that kind of stuff. I don't try to sell.
No, I know that, but I'm saying like it might take longer.
But no, what I explain to them is, look, I don't know your body, because I'll say, I need you to do 3 sets of 15. And they'll go, well, my buddy Johnny over there at the gym says, in order to put on strength, I got to do 3 sets of 6 to 8 or 4 sets of 6. It's like, yeah. And then I explain to them, I don't know your body. So what I do is I do a progression with them. I'll say, you need to use a very, very light weight for a couple of weeks. And I want you to do all these. I give them I tell them the actual exercises to do. I'll make sure they understand what those are. And I'll tell them which order I like to have them do it in. And then I'll say, you need to do 3 sets of 15 with a light enough weight that you're getting to 15 pretty easily. And then after a couple of weeks, I have them drop down to 12. So they're doing 3 sets of 12, but now they're adding more weight, right? And the joints have been through, the skids have been greased a fair amount. They're getting into it. And then I'll have them drop down to 3 sets of 10. And then I'll have them do, when they get down to sets of 8, I'll say, I want you to do a light set of 10, another medium set where you add more weight and you try to get to 10, but you don't get there. And then you want to get 8.
Okay.
And then I just keep bringing them down like that, because otherwise I can't, since I'm not there assessing who they are, I can't really tell them, oh, just go to 8 reps. So I start everyone high, let them get into it, and then bring them in. Now, if they tell me I've been lifting weights nonstop or X amount of time, I will ask a bunch of questions to allow me to know where they are. And then once I have a good feeling about where they are, then I don't do a lot of telling. I do a lot of conversation. Mm-hmm. It's a consult. It's a consultation between me and you, where we go back and forth, and I try to figure out where you are. And that way, I'm able to do it over the phone that way without being in front of them. But that's a long way of saying that's how I answer that question.
A couple of years ago, you went through a push routine and a pull routine on the podcast. And I'm sure if you subscribe to the old podcast, you could do a search and find that. Would you be willing to do that again, maybe on the next Monday show?
Yeah. If
like a basic, like I'm new to this, I'm getting started.
Yeah. I'll give the basic, compound movements and, push, pull, and legs. Okay. That people, if you've done nothing, you can start with these, and provided you're healthy and you don't have a hurt back and, this or that, or shoulder problems or whatever. But I can do that.
I'll read the disclaimer. I'll say, do not start this workout program.
Boy,
do
really?
not start this
for a living?
I'm a bodybuilder because I can't speak. Do not start this workout program before consulting with your doctor. Because that's what everybody does. Hey, doc, I was thinking of starting a workout program. What do you think? Like, who says that to their doctor?
But, people do that, and the doctor's
like, yeah, fucking do it. Exercise. Duh.
And then they call me. But you see, now I'm cleared. It's kind of a bullshitty thing, but
of course it is.
Look, you got to talk to your doctor.
It's because somebody didn't talk to their doctor first, and they were able to sue someone and get money out of them because they didn't say the words. Talk to your doctor first before starting any workout regimen. Look,
I get that on Twitter and Instagram all the time, where people say to me, "Hey, it's
exercising shouldn't be medical advice, but I guess it is." Okay. So specialized starter lifting set next week. We'll talk about that. Are you going to start doing specialized plans or weightlifting plans or anything like that?
Meaning selling them on the site or something?
Yeah.
No.
Would you consider it and think about it?
I've been considering it for a long time, and you know, there is no one size fits all. It's kind of the problem I have.
No, I understand that.
Maybe I could put together some routines and, you know, say, look, you know, here's step 1, step 2, step 3. And I don't know, put them out there, charge something for them.
Nickel and dime.
But I'm not going to do stuff for free anymore.
Because, no, God, no, I don't. I'm not asking that.
You know, but I might say, look, you know, you want the starter routine. Here's, you know, I would have to really sit down and map it out. Here's plan A, plan B, plan C.
How many minutes should it take to do your lifting? 30 minutes? An hour?
That's an interesting question because, you know, I've had different trainers, you know, Dr. Ben Pacchicchio, who I respect, has been on the show. There's been another guy, Don Coddington's trainer, who I can't think of his name right now, a highly respected guy up in New York. These guys, they could do 1 set to failure.
Right.
Now, that's something where you almost need a coach standing over you.
To make sure you're not injuring yourself.
Pulling the weight off of you when you fail.
Right.
Right. Most of the people that do this do it on machines. Ben Pacchicchio was there with Arthur Jones at the beginning of Nautilus when that was the concept. So, you know, those guys can have your legs quivering and you feeling numb inside of 30 minutes.
Right.
You know, Ben says he could do it. Give me 19 minutes and I'll kick your ass. And I know they can because I can. I know how to do that routine.
Right.
Most people don't like it because it's hard and it hurts. And people who are really into it, I mean, they're into it.
I mean, but that's Dr. Pacchicchio says, do that 20 minutes twice a week. That's what he says.
Yeah. And that's all
in his book. I read his book. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all you need.
Right. But to do that is literally a Herculean effort.
Yeah. You got to go in and each set is, you're not messing around. It's good to have one like Ben standing over you. You know, you got to have that kind of Gran Torino type guy standing over you yelling to do it right.
I don't train girls.
Oh, he's gotten some girls and shit.
Yeah.
So
I'm just quoting.
So the truth of the answer, the true answer is
how many minutes?
You know, Ben can get your whole body going in 20 minutes. If you're going to do a proper push-pull legs,
in one.
No, push one day
throughout the week. Okay, push 1 week.
I like to work out 6 days a week.
So you do push, pull, legs, day off, push, pull, legs.
I actually do push, pull, legs, day off.
Got it. Okay.
That way I don't have to, you know, although Sunday I usually go in because something happens somewhere during the week where I miss a day. So I use, so I'm always on, it doesn't matter to me. It's always a weird day when my day comes off, but I like to do all 6. And you go, wait, that's a lot more than twice a week. Nope, that's twice a week. Think about it. If I do bench on Monday, you know, we call him bench push. If I do push on Monday, I'm doing it again on Thursday. If I do pull on Tuesday, I'm doing it again on Friday. And if I do legs on Wednesday, I'm doing it again on Saturday. So I'm just doing each muscle group twice a week, just like Ben does with the whole workout twice a week with the 1 set to failure.
How many minutes?
Sense? For me, I could be in and out of the gym in 30 minutes.
Okay.
Because I'm doing more than 1 set. I like to warm up. You know, I got old injuries. I have fake shoulders. I have problems. I like to grease the skids. So that's why it takes me 30 minutes. Now, since I started doing more abs twice a week, I pick a different workout to do the abs in twice a week, never 2 days in a row. On those days, it now takes me an extra 15 minutes just to do the abs. So on 2 of the workouts per week, it takes me about 45 minutes. Now, I'm fine with that. I see other guys in the gym. I'm not going to mention any names, Matthew. Matthew is my age. The guy looks phenomenal.
Matthew, you just got called out.
Matthew looks phenomenal. He's ripped. He's strong. He moves heavy weights, and he's 60 years old.
Nice.
Matthew, and we've become friends. I go over to his house, this kind of thing. We hang out a little bit. We have the same kind of sensibilities. Matthew will be in the gym for 2.5 hours a day. And the reason being is Matthew, unlike me, he loves to socialize. It's part of his life.
Sure.
He'll do a couple of sets. He does this and that and the whole thing. I see him. He'll stop and talk for 5 minutes here and there with different people throughout the gym.
Right.
Right. It's just what he does. It's a social event. That's the way he does it. That's a different way of doing it. That would drive me nuts to be there that long.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
to talk to that many people.
Yeah. As you know, I don't like people that much. So Matthew is just that guy. He's the mayor of the gym, and
right.
Great respect for the guy. And you'll go, well, he's doing it wrong. Well, I dare you to find 60-year-old guys that look like Matthew.
Right.
They don't exist. The guy's ripped out. You know, if you look at his body and took his head off.
Is he retired? Is that why he can spend 2.5 hours in the gym?
No, he's like me. He can work whenever he wants.
Okay, got it.
So as a matter of fact, I see him sometimes, like me, where the phone rings and he'll take it outside, or he'll go in the back somewhere where it's quiet.
Yeah.
And that happens to me sometimes in the gym too. You know,
I know. I've talked to you a lot in the gym.
And I'll just pull aside. I don't like to be the guy on the treadmill going, I told them $10,000 or kiss my ass, you know.
Oh my God.
Go hide in the back.
That fucking guy.
Yeah, I'm in the gym. What's up?
Yeah.
You do that.
Of course. Like a normal human.
Yeah, and Matthew does the same thing. But yeah, he's a guy like me where he's still working for a living. And like I said, I would like to say take his face out of the picture and you would never know he's a 60-year-old guy. Yeah. But his face doesn't look 60 either.
Right.
So he's doing something right. You know?
Yeah.
So there are different ways to skin that cat. You could take 2.5 hours if you want to. If you're the mayor of the gym, you could do what I do and try to get out, you know, in 30, 35 minutes, or you could be like Ben Bokikio twice a week, 20 minutes. And no way is right and no way is wrong. Does that make sense?
Let's say somebody doesn't have any time and they have 15 minutes. Could they jam out some exercises? Isn't that better than nothing?
It's not that it's better than nothing. If someone tells me they have 3-4 days a week, 15 minutes, I can draw up a routine that will get them looking the way they want to look. I've been doing that.
That's pretty great.
I had a 40-year career doing that. It's not what I prefer. It's not optimal, but I can do it. And I think a lot of good trainers can. Anna?
Oh, I didn't know if you were done talking.
Yeah.
I was like, did he freeze?
No, I'm done talking.
You never answer a question that short.
Sorry, I just
That's never happened before.
I was like, the question shortly.
Wait, Vinny's done talking?
Anna was getting ready to have pie and ice cream over there and pour coffee. And I was like, I'm done with that. Moving on.
Okay. No, that's it. Listen, we'll do a basic talk through of push, pull, and legs next week. Write that down, Vinny. I like saying that to you. Write that down.
Oh boy, push, pull, legs. Yeah, I'll write it somewhere.
Like a starter lifting set, push, pull, legs next week. Yeah, that's basically it. You answered the more thing. We talked passive. We did it.
And by the way, folks,
we didn't even talk about food.
No, how about write it down, Anna, next week?
No, we're going to do a whole lifting thing next week.
And we'll do.
Here's the thing that I want to get to. I want to get to like a place where we do like the most comprehensive starter lifting set episode, so that then that becomes the episode that we can refer people to. Yeah.
And then we could do the same thing with food.
Yeah.
So the next
we did that with food when the Robies came in.
Right. But do it again.
We have NSNG 101 and 101 part 2.
Yeah.
And it's the most comprehensive we'll ever get. I know we're going to talk about it a million times more, but you guys go and look up those podcasts. If you read the PDF, the nickel and dime ebook, and you're still confused, go find those podcast episodes.
It's not that
Get out ahead of it.
Yeah. Look, I'm begging all of you, don't be the statistic in the gym You'll notice if you go into the gym for the next 2 weeks, especially on a Monday, it's going to be crowded. It's just every year. I've been in a gym since the year 1970. Most of you weren't born then. And
I was not. Thank you for saying that.
The one thing I do know about January 1st through about January 15th is don't take a deep breath in the gym because someone's going to fall out the front door. It's crowded, right? It's like a concert. But somewhere around the 15th, you'll notice it waning. And by the end of January, it looks
back to the regular attendance.
And what you'll notice at the end of January, 1 or 2 new people hanging around. What I'm asking folks is at the end of January, I want you to be the 1 or 2 new people hanging around. Ooh, that's going to be my Instagram today. Thank you, Anna. Wait.
You're welcome. Oh my God, I do so much for you.
Hang on. Hanging around. I can write that right here. 1 or 2 people hanging around.
And just a reminder, if you're new here or you're recommitting, all this exercise stuff does not overcompensate for a shitty diet.
No, you cannot outrun a shitty diet.
You got to do NSNG as well as this stuff.
Yeah, you got to go low carb.
They serve 2 different purposes that are both equally as important.
Nothing, and I do mean nothing in the world is tougher than trying to outrun a bad diet. It will never work. I've seen, look, and sumo wrestlers are the best example. Those guys are in incredible shape. Offensive linemen for the NFL, those big rosy cheek white guys with the big guts on them.
The corn-fed, milk-fed dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those guys, they are strong, man. They can squat the gym, they can do everything. But they eat heavy. They eat heavy carbs. They keep that big gut on them. Sumo wrestlers the same way. Very strong athletes. They eat rice all day long. Look what happens.
Yeah.
You know, bottom line, strong athletes, they can outrun that bad diet. So we'll leave it at that. Anna Vocino.
Yes. I was going to say, if you want to, if you're missing rice, you can make tater tots out of cauliflower rice. I know it seems crazy.
Find that recipe, Anna.
In Eat Happy cookbook. You can also make a cauliflower pizza crust. I'm not kidding, you guys. You can make, I have risotto recipes using the cauliflower. I mean, the cauliflower is going to become your new favorite vegetable. I have all sorts of things. Now, Eat Happy and Eat Happy 2, they're complements of each other because basically Eat Happy 2 is everything I couldn't fit in Eat Happy, right?
Yeah.
These cookbooks cover a wide range of NSNG foods. There are some starter foods, I call them, like the pizza crusts, the little baked goods, the blueberry muffins in the second book, things like that are grain-free and sweetener-free for the people who are just getting started. Eventually, you will find that you're mostly just making meat and vegetables. There's plenty of those recipes too. In fact, the majority of the books are meat and vegetables. So there is a wide range because here's the thing, you guys. I would rather have somebody make a low-carb pizza crust with their family than order out and get a Domino's and ruin their progress. Yeah. That's why those things are in there. Very important. But if you are, let's say you're coming back and you're committing to strict carnivore, you want to do that for carnivore reset or whatever you want to do, focus on the meat recipes. There's something in there for everybody.
Folks, check out everything Anna Vocino is doing. You will be happily surprised. By the way, I'm still waiting for my. Do I have barbecue dust coming?
You do. I just got the tracking yesterday. He was behind. You can blame Skeeter for that one. I asked him to send it to you a week ago.
Come on, man. I've been putting salt on my meat here for. That sounded weird.
No, it's.
Skeeter, I'm putting salt on my meat.
Serena's not here. I'm just putting salt on my meat.
Yeah. So
we don't want him to be dustless.
Yeah, I need some Anna dust. I need that pixie dust. It makes
the barbecue dust is by far the most popular one. I think because it's just more versatile. You know,
it works on fish and chicken, and it just works everywhere.
But don't forget, if you're going to roast some fish, you can throw some dill on there and it's freaking good.
Yeah, no, I do.
Do you roast fish at home? You just make a steak every day.
I've been making a steak because it's easy for me when I'm working in the whole thing.
By the way, Lauren was gone for 3 days and all I ate for 3 days was 2 steaks. And then everything else, I was just like eating a little bit of cheese or one of your nut butters. Like I did not eat food other than 2 steaks in 3 days.
That's crazy,
which just goes to show how much I don't cook unless it's related to me producing recipes and stuff. Cause I was like, so I understand the cooking for one struggle is real.
Yeah. And I haven't been out to eat a whole lot. My neighbors have invited me over for dinner. Everyone's starting, I think.
Oh, and let me be clear. I did not go out to eat either. I literally just for 3 days was like, meh, I don't feel like doing this. It's hard to want to rally. It is helpful to have somebody there that you want to cook for. So I understand making a steak and that's it.
All right, we're gonna have to cut it here because I have
you gotta go.
Coming up at 1 o'clock, folks.
Happy New Year, guys.
We all go shopping on Amazon. Before you go to Amazon, go to VinnieTortorich.com, click through the banner, bookmark it, use it every time. Also, if you want to feel like you've been nickeled and dimed, we have an ebook. Everyone seems to like the ebook. You can go check it out at VinnieTortorich.com. Did I cover everything? Yeah.
Stop the tape so you can play music.
Rate and review and do all that good
stuff
over on iTunes.
Oh, can I just say something about that?
Yeah, go on.
The only way for this podcast to grow and for people to find out is you guys doing reviews. So if you haven't reviewed the podcast, run over to iTunes or Overcast or Stitcher or Spotify or wherever you listen and give it a review.
Yeah, because we really appreciate that. And it shows that you appreciate that you've learned something here. So just take a minute and go do that. It doesn't cost you anything. I won't nickel and dime you there. So